Welcome to a captivating journey through the vibrant landscapes of modern English poetry. In this enchanting audiobook, we will embark on an exploration of poetic voices that have emerged in the ever-evolving tapestry of the modern world. From the early 20th century to the present day, we'll traverse a poetic terrain that reflects the myriad facets of human experience, thoughts, and emotions. Modern English poetry is a treasure trove of artistic innovation, cultural reflection, and profound introspection. With each poem, we'll unravel the complexities of the modern age, from the exhilaration of technological advancement to the depths of human connection and existential contemplation. Through the lens of poets' words, we'll witness the shifts in societal norms, the echoes of historical events, and the intimate whispers of personal narratives. Prepare to be captivated by the rhythmic cadence of T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land, the poignant verses of Maya Angelou's Still I Rise, the introspective musings of Sylvia Plath's Ariel, and the stirring emotions of Langston Hughes' The Negro Speaks of Rivers. These are just a few among the vast array of poetic gems that we'll unearth. As we journey through modern English poetry, we'll encounter themes that resonate with today's world, the complexities of identity, the impact of globalization, the challenges of the digital age, and the eternal search for meaning in a fast-paced existence. The poets we'll explore have not only shaped literature but have also given voice to the shared struggles, triumphs, and yearnings of humanity. To fully immerse yourself in the realm of modern English poetry, make sure to subscribe to the English Poetry channel. Here, you'll find a haven where the echoes of the past harmonize with the present, inviting you to explore the profound depths of poetic expression that transcend time and space. So, fasten your seatbelt, open your heart to the verses that await, and embark on a poetic odyssey that bridges the gaps between generations and celebrates the enduring power of words. Modern English poetry, spanning the 20th century and beyond, is a captivating literary journey that reflects the ever-changing landscape of human experience, thought, and emotion. This era witnessed an explosion of creativity, marked by diverse styles, voices, and themes that resonate with the complexities of the modern world. At the heart of modern English poetry lies the exploration of individual consciousness and subjectivity. Poets like T.S. Eliot delved into the fragmentation of modern life, as seen in The Waste Land, which juxtaposed diverse voices to mirror the disarray of the post-World War I world. This introspective trend continued with Sylvia Plath's Ariel, which peeled back the layers of her psyche in a raw and confessional manner. The themes of alienation and urbanization also came to the forefront. W.H. Auden's The Unknown Citizen, and Langston Hughes' The Negro Speaks of Rivers, examined the individual's relationship with society, while the emergence of the Beat generation brought forth poets like Allen Ginsberg, who critiqued conformity and celebrated nonconformity in Howl. Modern English poetry's engagement with social and political commentary is evident in Maya Angelou's Still I Rise, a powerful ode to resilience in the face of racial adversity, and in the works of Seamus Heaney, who explored the complexities of Northern Ireland's troubles in poems like Punishment. The feminist movement found its voice in poets like Adrienne Rich, whose Diving into the Wreck delved into female empowerment and self-discovery. The themes of sexuality and identity were explored by poets like Audre Lorde, whose poems celebrated the intersections of race, gender, and sexuality. The impact of war and conflict resonates in Wilfred Owen's harrowing portrayal of World War I in poems like Dulce et Decorum Est, and in poems by contemporary poets like Warsan Shire, who poignantly captures the experiences of refugees and displaced individuals. The rise of performance poetry and spoken word in the late 20th and early 21st centuries brought a new dimension to modern English poetry. Poets like Kate Tempest and Rupi Kaur use the spoken word to address contemporary issues and connect with diverse audiences. Modern English poetry is also marked by a blurring of genres. Poets like Derek Walcott and Kamau Brathwaite blended poetry with theatre and cultural commentary, while Nick Cave ventured into songwriting, merging music and verse. In this era, the globalization of voices expanded the poetic canon, with poets like Derek Mahan, Aga Shahid Ali, and Joy Harjo representing a rich diversity of cultural backgrounds and perspectives. Modern English poetry is not confined to any one style, movement, or theme. Rather, it encapsulates a mosaic of voices that mirror the multifaceted nature of contemporary existence. It captures the beauty, turmoil, and wonder of the modern world, inviting readers to engage with the depth and complexity of the human experience in all its shades. To explore this world further, consider subscribing to the English Poetry channel, where the echoes of modern English poetry harmonize with the present, creating an immersive and thought-provoking literary journey. The theme of technological transformation is evident in the poetry of E. Cummings, who experimented with typography and formatting to capture the influence of modern technology on language and communication. Modern English poetry's engagement with environmental consciousness is reflected in the works of poets like Gary Snyder, who celebrated the interconnectedness of nature and humanity in his eco-poetry. The stream of consciousness technique, popularized by Virginia Woolf and James Joyce, also influenced poets like Gertrude Stein, who used fragmented language to portray the inner workings of the human mind. The theme of identity and diaspora is explored by poets like Derek Walcott and Chinua Achebe, who grapple with the complexities of post-colonial identity and cultural heritage. The emergence of spoken word poetry as a powerful mode of expression is seen in the works of poets like Saul Williams and Sarah Kay, who bring their words to life through passionate performances. The impact of civil rights movements on poetry is profound, with poets like Langston Hughes, Audre Lorde, and Gwendolyn Brooks using their words to advocate for equality and justice. The theme of memory and nostalgia is explored by poets like Billy Collins, who captures the fleeting moments of everyday life and invites readers to reflect on their own experiences. The digital age has led to the rise of online poetry communities, where poets like Rupi Kaur and Atticus share their verses on social media platforms, democratizing the reach of poetry. Modern English poetry's engagement with existential questions is reflected in the works of poets like Mary Oliver, who contemplates the mysteries of existence and the connection between humanity and the natural world. The theme of reimagining mythology is evident in the poetry of Ted Hughes, who reinterprets ancient myths to explore contemporary themes and emotions. The exploration of intersections of race, gender, and sexuality continues with poets like Danae Smith and Ocean Vuong, who boldly challenge societal norms and expectations. Modern English poetry embraces the fluidity of form, with poets like Carol Ann Duffy experimenting with structure and genre to convey a range of emotions and narratives. The theme of mental health and introspection is explored by poets like Annie Sexton and Robert Lowell, who confronted their inner demons and struggles with mental illness in their candid and evocative verses. Modern English poetry's engagement with cultural upheavals is reflected in the works of poets like Amiri Baraka, formerly known as Leroy Jones, who channeled the fervor of the civil rights and black arts movements into his powerful and provocative poetry. The experimental poetry movement of the 20th century brought forth poets like Charles Olson and John Ashbery, who challenged traditional poetic forms and pushed the boundaries of language and meaning. Modern English poetry's exploration of postmodern themes can be seen in the works of poets like Jory Graham and Mark Strand, who embraced fragmented narratives and meta-commentary on language and literature. The theme of cultural hybridity and diasporic experiences finds expression in the poetry of Derek Walcott, who explored the complexities of identity in the context of Caribbean heritage and global influences. The emergence of spoken word and slam poetry as platforms for social commentary and personal expression has given voice to poets like Sarah Jones and Shane Koizan, who tackle pressing issues with urgency and authenticity. Modern English poetry's engagement with globalization and interconnectedness is reflected in the works of poets like B. Dow, who navigated the complexities of cultural exchange and political shifts through their verses. The theme of urban landscapes and city life is explored by poets like Frank O'Hara, who captured the energy and rhythm of city streets in his poetry, offering a unique perspective on modern existence. The Surrealist movement left its mark on poets like Ted Hughes and Sylvia Plath, who incorporated dreamlike imagery and symbolism to convey the complexities of the subconscious mind. Modern English poetry's exploration of identity politics is evident in the works of poets like Claudia Rankine, who confront issues of race, racism, and the lived experiences of marginalized communities. The impact of war and conflict on the modern world is reflected in the poetry of Brian Turner and Yusef Komunyakaa, who bring a stark and unflinching perspective to the realities of warfare. The theme of technology and its implications is explored by poets like Billy Collins, who humorously reflects on the role of technology in shaping contemporary relationships and communication. Modern English poetry's engagement with global conflicts and terrorism is reflected in the works of poets like Caroline Forche, who bear witness to the horrors of war and its impact on human lives. The spoken word revival has given rise to poets like Sarah Kay and Phil Kay, whose performances blend poetry with storytelling to create immersive and emotionally resonant experiences. Modern English poetry's exploration of post-colonial voices is seen in the works of poets like Kamau Brathwaite and Linton Kwesi Johnson, who challenge colonial narratives and celebrate cultural resilience. The theme of environmental degradation and climate change finds expression in the poetry of Mary Oliver and Wendell Berry, who invite readers to reflect on humanity's relationship with the natural world. The emergence of digital poetry as a genre has led poets like Jason Nelson and Stephanie Strickland to experiment with interactive and multimedia elements, pushing the boundaries of traditional text. Modern English poetry's engagement with identity fluidity is reflected in the works of poets like Denise Smith, who explore the complexities of gender, race, and self-expression. The theme of queer and LGBTQ+ experiences is explored by poets like Richard Blanco and Mark Doty, who celebrate love, relationships, and the fight for acceptance. The migration and displacement of people is a recurring theme, with poets like Warsan Shire and Ocean Wong reflecting on the experiences of refugees and immigrants. Modern English poetry's exploration of virtual reality and artificial intelligence is seen in the works of poets like Ilya Kaminsky, who draw parallels between the digital realm and human emotion. The theme of existential crises and the search for meaning is reflected in the poetry of K. Ryan and Edward Hirsch, who grapple with questions of mortality, purpose, and the human condition. As we navigate the expansive terrain of modern English poetry, we continue to unearth new layers of meaning, emotion, and perspective. Each poet's contribution adds a unique thread to the tapestry of this era, capturing the essence of a rapidly changing world. To continue this exploration, make sure to subscribe to the English Poetry channel, where the echoes of modern English poetry harmonize with the present, inviting us to immerse ourselves in the ceaseless currents of poetic thought and expression. The theme of resilience and healing is explored by poets like Warsan Shire and Naira Waheed, who use their verses to address trauma, healing, and the power of self-discovery. Modern English poetry's engagement with mental health advocacy is evident in the works of poets like Buddy Wakefield and Sabrina Benaim, who use poetry to destigmatize mental health struggles and foster empathy. The intersection of science and poetry has led poets like Diane Ackerman and Rebecca Elson to explore scientific concepts through poetic language, bridging the gap between art and science. Modern English poetry's exploration of aging and mortality is seen in the works of poets like Sharon Olds, who reflect on the passage of time and the beauty of growing older. The theme of social justice and activism finds expression in the poetry of Claudia Rankine and Denise Smith, who use their words to confront systemic racism, police brutality, and inequality. The embrace of diverse poetic forms is exemplified by poets like Tracy K. Smith, who experiment with sonnets, prose poems, and narrative verse to convey a range of emotions and narratives. Modern English poetry's engagement with pop culture and consumerism can be seen in the works of poets like Billy Collins, who playfully comment on the trivialities and obsessions of modern society. The theme of family and relationships is explored by poets like Sharon Olds and Natasha Trethewey, who delve into the complexities of familial dynamics, love, and loss. The globalization of influences is evident in the poetry of poets like Agha Shahid Ali and Derek Walcott, who draw from multiple cultural traditions to create a rich tapestry of voices. Modern English poetry's exploration of digital connections and isolation is seen in the works of poets like Patricia Lockwood, who reflect on the ways technology shapes human interactions. The theme of gender identity and expression is explored by poets like Andrea Gibson and Eileen Miles, who challenge norms and celebrate the beauty of diverse identities. The rise of poetry slams and open mics has created vibrant spaces for poets like Rudy Francisco and Sarah Kay to share their work and connect with audiences on a personal level. The theme of technology and disconnection is explored by poets like Tracy K. Smith, who delve into the paradoxes of the digital age, where interconnectedness coexists with a sense of isolation. Modern English poetry's engagement with racial identity and heritage is reflected in the works of poets like Tahimba Jess and Patricia Smith, who delve into the complexities of Black identity and history. The rise of spoken word collectives has given voice to groups like Dark Noise Collective and the Strivers Row, fostering a sense of community and collaboration among poets. Modern English poetry's exploration of migration and cultural hybridity is seen in the poetry of Lee Young Lee and Fatima Asghar, who weave together diverse cultural threads in their verses. The theme of queerness and LGBTQ+ experiences is illuminated by poets like Saeed Jones and Eileen Miles, who celebrate love, desire, and the diverse spectrum of gender identities. The environmental consciousness movement has found poetic expression in the works of Mary Oliver and Wendell Berry, who advocate for the preservation of nature and the urgency of climate action. Modern English poetry's engagement with disability advocacy is reflected in the works of poets like Gillian Weiss and Raymond Antrobus, who challenge perceptions and champion inclusivity. The theme of nostalgia and memory finds expression in the poetry of Rita Dove and Natasha Tredui, who revisit the past to unearth poignant moments and stories. The exploration of nonlinear narratives has led poets like Annie Carson and Claudia Rankine to play with structure, weaving together fragments of thought and experience. Modern English poetry's exploration of multilingualism and code switching is seen in the poetry of Lee Young Lee and Ocean Vuong, who seamlessly incorporate multiple languages into their verses. The theme of spirituality and transcendence is explored by poets like Mary Oliver and Rumi, who invite readers to ponder the mysteries of existence and the divine. The rise of online poetry platforms has democratized the reach of poetry, with poets like Atticus and Rupi Kaur using social media to share their verses with a global audience. The theme of cultural reclamation and empowerment is explored by poets like Joy Harjo and Natalie Diaz, who draw from indigenous traditions to celebrate their heritage and challenge colonial narratives. Modern English poetry's engagement with technological dystopias is reflected in the works of poets like J.G. Ballard and Simon Armitage, who explore the unsettling intersections of technology and society. The rise of Instagram poets has given a platform to voices like Atticus and Lang Leave, who use bite-sized verses to convey profound emotions and resonate with a new generation. Modern English poetry's exploration of neurodiversity is seen in the works of poets like Stephen Kusisto and Ada Lyman, who offer perspectives that challenge traditional notions of normalcy. The theme of immigration and cultural displacement finds expression in the poetry of Ocean Vuong and Varsan Shire, who capture the complexities of identity in a globalized world. The collaboration between poets and musicians has led to powerful artistic partnerships, exemplified by the work of Leonard Cohen and Patti Smith, who blended their poetic and musical talents. Modern English poetry's engagement with technological existentialism is reflected in the works of poets like Don Patterson and Tracy K. Smith, who ponder the implications of artificial intelligence and digital existence. The theme of body positivity and self-love is explored by poets like Amanda Lovelace and Rupi Kaur, who celebrate the beauty of the human form and encourage self-acceptance. The resurgence of nature poetry is evident in the works of poets like Mary Oliver and Robert Macfarlane, who invite readers to reconnect with the natural world and reflect on its wonders. Modern English poetry's exploration of gentle activism is seen in the poetry of Ross Gay and Naomi Shihab, who inspire readers to find beauty and kindness even in challenging times. The theme of cultural nostalgia and identity finds expression in the works of poets like Kwame Dawes and Tracy K. Smith, who revisit their roots to celebrate cultural heritage. The experimentation with multimedia poetry has led poets like Kate Tempest and Caroline Bird to incorporate visuals, music, and performance into their poetic creations. The theme of post-truth and misinformation is explored by poets like Maggie Smith and Ocean Vuong, who grapple with the complexities of truth and reality in the age of digital media. Modern English poetry's engagement with mental landscapes is reflected in the works of poets like Annie Carson and Sharon Olds, who use introspection to navigate the terrain of human consciousness. The rediscovery of forgotten voices has led to the revival of poets like Sappho and Anna Akhmatova, whose historical significance and enduring relevance have been rekindled in the modern era. Modern English poetry's exploration of non-binary and genderqueer experiences is seen in the works of poets like Alok Ved Menon and Denise Smith, who challenge traditional gender norms. The theme of refugee experiences and displacement finds expression in the poetry of Warsan Shire and Lee Young Lee, who shed light on the struggles and resilience of those uprooted from their homes. The resurgence of protest poetry is evident in the works of poets like Warsan Shire and June Jordan, who use their verses to voice dissent and advocate for justice. Modern English poetry's engagement with transcultural influences is reflected in the works of poets like Derek Walcott and Kamau Brathwaite, who fuse diverse cultural elements in their poetry. The theme of ecofeminism is explored by poets like Joy Harjo and Alice Oswald, who draw connections between the environment and the female experience. The collaboration between poets and visual artists has produced powerful artistic collaborations, such as William Blake's marriage of poetry and illustration. Modern English poetry's exploration of mindfulness and meditation is seen in the works of poets like Mary Oliver and Jane Hirschfield, who invite readers to pause and contemplate life's nuances. The theme of human rights and advocacy finds expression in the poetry of Caroline Forche and Warsan Shire, who use their verses to shed light on global crises and social injustice. The embrace of minimalist poetry has led to the rise of poets like Raymond Carver and Richard Brautigan, who capture profound emotions with brevity and simplicity. The theme of historical reimagining is explored by poets like Carol Ann Duffy and Natasha Tredui, who revisit historical events to offer new perspectives and challenge dominant narratives. Modern English poetry's engagement with cyberculture is reflected in the works of poets like Tao Lin and Patricia Lockwood, who use the language of the internet to capture the digital zeitgeist. The interplay of language and identity is evident in the poetry of poets like Richard Blanco and Kwame Dawes, who navigate the complexities of multicultural identities through their verses. Modern English poetry's exploration of virtual reality and alternate worlds is seen in the works of poets like Layli Long Soldier and Matthew Harvey, who experiment with the boundaries of reality. The theme of resilience and empowerment finds expression in the poetry of poets like Audre Lorde and Maya Angelou, who use their verses to inspire and uplift marginalized communities. The fusion of literature and science is evident in the works of poets like Jane Hirschfield and Rebecca Elson, who draw inspiration from scientific concepts and discoveries. Modern English poetry's engagement with empowerment through self-expression is reflected in the poetry of spoken word artists like Andrea Gibson and Rudy Francisco, who advocate for personal authenticity. The theme of mental landscapes and dreamscapes is explored by poets like Mary Ruffel and Michael Ondaatje, who delve into the realm of dreams and the subconscious mind. The art of translation has led poets like Annie Carson and W.S. Merwin to reinterpret and reimagine works from other languages, adding a layer of cultural exchange to modern poetry. Modern English poetry's exploration of virtual connections and relationships is seen in the works of poets like Rupi Kaur and Naira Waheed, who capture the emotions of modern love in a digital age. The theme of intersectionality and social identities finds expression in the poetry of poets like Claudia Rankine and Nikki Giovanni, who examine the complexities of identity politics. The experimentation with sound and performance has led poets like Jacques Blanc and Caroline Bergwall to incorporate vocal elements and soundscapes into their poetic compositions. As we continue to navigate the labyrinthine journey of modern English poetry, we are continually reminded of its boundless diversity and capacity for reinvention. Each poet's voice contributes a unique brushstroke to this expansive canvas, reflecting the myriad hues of human emotions, thoughts, and experiences. To delve even deeper into this mesmerizing world, consider subscribing to the English Poetry channel. Here, the echoes of modern English poetry blend seamlessly with the present, inviting us to embrace the myriad possibilities of poetic expression. The theme of technological dependency is explored by poets like Tracy K. Smith and Simon Armitage, who delve into the ways in which our lives are intertwined with technology. Modern English poetry's engagement with neoliberalism and consumer culture is reflected in the works of poets like Billy Collins and Sharon Olds, who comment on the commodification of everyday life. The reimagining of myth and folklore is evident in the poetry of poets like Carol Ann Duffy and Margaret Atwood, who infuse ancient stories with contemporary resonance. Modern English poetry's exploration of meditations on time and transience is seen in the works of poets like Jane Hirschfield and Billy Collins, who contemplate the fleeting nature of existence. The theme of urban landscapes and city life finds expression in the poetry of poets like Langston Hughes and Frank O'Hara, who capture the rhythm and energy of urban environments. The influence of postmodernism is evident in the works of poets like John Ashbery and Charles Bernstein, who embrace fragmentation, pastiche, and self-reflexivity in their verses. Modern English poetry's engagement with online activism and social media is reflected in the poetry of poets like Warsan Shire and Andrea Gibson, who use their platforms to advocate for change. The theme of the human connection to animals is explored by poets like Mary Oliver and Ted Hughes, who celebrate the natural world and our relationship with other creatures. The marriage of poetry and politics is evident in the works of poets like Adrienne Rich and Amiri Baraka, who use their verses to confront political injustices and societal inequalities. Modern English poetry's exploration of fragmentation and identity crisis is seen in the poetry of poets like T.S. Eliot and Annie Sexton, who grapple with the fractured nature of modern existence. The theme of cultural appropriation and authenticity finds expression in the poetry of poets like Danae Smith and Claudia Rankine, who question the ethics of borrowing from other cultures. The experimentation with form and structure has led poets like E. Cummings and Gwendolyn Brooks to challenge conventional poetic norms and embrace innovative styles. The theme of existential angst and alienation is explored by poets like Sylvia Plath and Allen Ginsberg, who delve into the complexities of human existence and the search for meaning. Modern English poetry's engagement with gender fluidity and non-conformity is reflected in the works of poets like Andrea Gibson and Alok Ved Menon, who challenge traditional notions of gender. The influence of surrealism and the subconscious is evident in the poetry of poets like Annie Sexton and Robert Desnos, who embrace dreamlike imagery and explore the depths of the psyche. Modern English poetry's exploration of technological ethics and artificial intelligence is seen in the works of poets like Ada Lyman and Jory Graham, who ponder the implications of advancing technology. The theme of reconciliation with nature and ecology finds expression in the poetry of poets like Wendell Berry and Mary Oliver, who emphasize the importance of preserving the environment. The rediscovery of marginalized voices has led to the resurgence of poets like Audre Lorde and Langston Hughes, whose works resonate with contemporary issues and concerns. Modern English poetry's engagement with pop culture and media saturation is reflected in the poetry of poets like Billy Collins and Sharon Olds, who comment on the inundation of media in our lives. The theme of empowerment through vulnerability is explored by poets like Warsan Shire and Naira Waheed, who use their verses to address personal traumas and celebrate resilience. The intersection of spirituality and modernity is evident in the poetry of poets like Rumi and Mary Oliver, who offer contemplative insights into the divine within the context of modern life. Modern English poetry's exploration of narratives of immigration and displacement is seen in the works of poets like Lee Young Lee and Ocean Vuong, who navigate the complexities of identity. The theme of nostalgia for a bygone era finds expression in the poetry of poets like Seamus Heaney and Ted Hughes, who reflect on the changes and challenges of the modern world. The blurring of genre boundaries has led poets like Claudia Rankine and Annie Carson to experiment with mixing poetry and prose, creating hybrid forms that challenge conventional categorizations. The theme of cultural assimilation and identity is explored by poets like Derek Walcott and Camila Shamsi, who navigate the complexities of belonging and heritage in a globalized world. Modern English poetry's engagement with technological alienation is reflected in the works of poets like Don Patterson and Emily Dickinson, who delve into the paradoxes of connectivity and isolation. The interplay of memory and nostalgia is evident in the poetry of poets like Billy Collins and Mark Doty, who use recollections to evoke the emotions and sensations of the past. Modern English poetry's exploration of apocalyptic visions and dystopian futures is seen in the works of poets like Margaret Atwood and Annie Carson, who grapple with the anxieties of the modern age. The theme of intersectionality and feminism finds expression in the poetry of poets like Audre Lorde and Burson Shire, who tackle issues of race, gender, and sexuality in their verses. The integration of scientific imagery is evident in the poetry of poets like Tracy K. Smith and Rebecca Elson, who draw parallels between scientific concepts and human emotions. Modern English poetry's engagement with cultural pluralism is reflected in the poetry of poets like Yusef Komunyakaa and Kimiko Han, who celebrate the diverse tapestry of human experiences. The theme of post-colonial narratives is explored by poets like Derek Walcott and Chinua Achebe, who engage with the legacies of colonialism and decolonization in their work. The blur between reality and imagination is evident in the poetry of poets like Mark Strand and Mary Ruffle, who challenge the boundaries of what is real and what is invented. Modern English poetry's exploration of mental health and introspection is seen in the works of poets like Annie Sexton and Buddy Wakefield, who delve into the depths of the human psyche. The theme of resistance and protest finds expression in the poetry of poets like June Jordan and Langston Hughes, who use their verses to call for social justice and change. The collaboration between poetry and theatre has led poets like Tony Harrison and Bo Soyinka to create powerful dramatic works that combine poetic language with performance. As we draw the final curtain on this exhilarating journey through the diverse epochs of English poetry, we stand in awe of the expansive tapestry of human emotion, thought, and experience that these poets have woven for us. From the timeless verses of Chaucer to the innovative expressions of modern English poetry, each era has gifted us with a kaleidoscope of voices, themes, and narratives that have transcended time and culture. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored the landscapes of love, nature, social change, inner struggles, and the very essence of what it means to be human. We've witnessed the evolution of language, form, and style, mirroring the ever-changing human condition. From the structured rhyme schemes of the Elizabethans to the free verse of the Romantics, from the introspective musings of the modernists to the diverse expressions of contemporary poets, English poetry has offered solace, inspiration, and a profound connection to the human spirit. As we conclude this poetic odyssey, I invite you to further immerse yourself in the enchanting realm of English poetry by subscribing to the English Poetry channel. By doing so, you'll stay connected to the timeless verses that continue to resonate with us, bridging the gap between past and present. Through the power of language, rhythm, and imagery, poetry continues to touch our hearts, challenge our perspectives, and offer glimpses into the intricate layers of our shared humanity. So, dear listeners, I encourage you to subscribe to the English Poetry channel, where the magic of words knows no bounds. Let us continue to celebrate the beauty of expression, the wonder of language, and the everlasting legacy of poets who have shaped our world and continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this poetic voyage, and may your love for English poetry forever flourish.